Hi everyone, welcome to the session. So in this session, we are going to talk about a very important topic, which plays a significant role in the server administration and in the infrastructure management, which is high availability. So we will be discussing about high availability today. And under the high availability, we will be discussing about clusters. Then we will talk about failover and redundancy. So let's get started. So in the company, what happens? There are few servers which are very important. Like there will be thousands of servers in the big company, but there are some servers which are very important, which is mission critical or business critical. So let's suppose, let me open one of the word here. So yeah, see, so let's suppose in the company we have around one, two, and three servers, and these three servers are running with different workload. Let's say one server is running with one of the application which is very critical for the business. Let's say this is one of the online shopping application, and this is generating the revenue for the business. So users, the external users are coming to this server, they are targeting to this server, and they are accessing this application for the online shopping. So this is what they are doing, and when they do the shopping, so companies are getting the revenue. So this is one of the mission critical server, and it is contributing in the revenue growth as well. Another server, let's say, is DB server. It is one of the database server, and it is one of the SQL, you can say. SQL is available here. So this is also one of the important server in the company. If it gets down, so there will be significant impact. And let's say this server is one of the file server. So here the company have all the data, like all the finance data, all the HR data is available in this file server. So if there will be any issue here, so of course, the users will not be able to work. Employees will face a lot of issues while working. So there can be multiple servers, as I mentioned, but not all servers are going to impact the business. Let's say we have some servers in the testing environment. Let's say this is a server and it is used by the testing team for some testing task. So if this server is down for some time, so there will not be much impact to the business because we can handle it. But if the company's application server goes down, so it is going to impact a lot. If the database goes down, it will impact a lot. So there will be three scenarios in the company. We all know, like we have prod server environment, we have dev environment, and we have one of the testing environment or staging environment. So prod are very critical environment. If any of the resource in the prod, if any of the resource in the production goes down, so it will cause heavy impact. Now, the thing is, regarding the critical servers, how the companies are going to maintain the stability, because we all know that this is technical world and anything is not permanent. Like we cannot give the guarantee that server is going to be stable for 100% time. So there can be downtime situations, there can be issues with the server may go down, so anything can happen. And if that happens, so this is seriously going to impact the business. If my server, which is critical for the business, goes down, so of course there will be heavy impact. There will be reputation loss of the business as well. There will be financial loss of the business as well. And in terms of trust and credibility, it is also going to get diminished. So how the companies are going to plan such kind of stability, or you can say availability? So they use one of the concepts which is called HA, high availability. So high availability is one of the concept which you will see in the company. So in order to maintain the availability or uptime of their critical server environment, they use this option or they use this concept. So how the high availability is going to work? So what they do, if their server is critical, let's say I had given you the example of application. So let's say if their application server is very critical, so what they do, let's say this is my application server and this one is critical for me. So they will not be dependent on one server instance. What they will do, they will create multiple copies of this particular server. So let's say for this application, we have, for example, we have 3 copies. There can be multiple, again, it depends how critical it is and how much traffic is coming. So let's suppose we have 3 copies and these 3 servers are running the same application. Same application is running here as well, same is running here as well, and same application is running here as well. So this form is called cluster. So what the company does, they will set up the cluster environment. So they will set up the cluster, and cluster is like the group of multiple servers which is running the same workload. So their environment will be into the cluster, and in the cluster, each and every server will be running the same workload. So same application is running on all these 3 servers. Why the cluster has been formed? To maintain the high availability. So we have set up the cluster to maintain the HA, to maintain the high availability, so that in case if one server goes down because of any IT issue, because of any technical issue, so it will not impact my environment, it will not impact my business. If in the event of one server failure, another servers which is up and running, they are going to manage the workload. So let's suppose if 1, 2, and 3 users are connected onto these onto this server, and if this server goes down, so my cluster should have the ability to transfer the workload of all these 3 users from this server to another member servers. This is how the cluster operates. And this concept is called high availability. So in the high availability, we set up multiple instances of server, we set up multiple copies of server, and the same workload is running in all the servers. And in the event if one server goes down, so another server picks up the load. So in this way we will maintain the availability, we will maintain the maximum uptime. So that concept is called high availability. So just to ensure that we can maintain maximum uptime of servers in the event of any failures, we have to set up the high availability. Now in every environment there is a different kind of high availability concepts, so we will discuss them one by one. So cluster is one of the concept where we are going to set up multiple servers and same workload will be running onto each and every server, so that if one server goes down, another server will pick up the load. So that concept is high availability. Another option is called failover and redundancy. So what happens? Let's take the same example. So I have 3 servers in my environment, for example, in a cluster. They all are running the same application. So same is running here, same application is running here, and same application is running here. And these 3 servers are into the cluster. So they are maintaining the high availability. Now let's suppose this server goes down. So once this server is down, or if the OS gets crash, so in the event of any kind of downtime, the ability of another servers to pick up the load, that is something like failover. So if this server goes down, so if 2 users are connected to this particular server and they are accessing the application, so immediate on the immediate effect, if this server goes down, these 2 servers will get transferred to another servers. Their load will be transferred to another servers, and that is called failover. So when during the failure we are transferring our traffic to another member servers, that situation is called failover. Another concept is called redundancy. So redundancy is one of the ability of the server to pick up the load. So in the case if this server goes down, so the ability of another member servers to take the load automatically is called redundancy. So redundancy means that duplicate copies of the server, again, which is running in my cluster environment for maintaining the high availability. So if one server goes down, so how another servers are picking up the load? Because they are redundant in nature. So we have to make them redundant. And for making them redundant, generally we use load balancer. So load balancer will be on top of these cluster servers, and load balancer will decide how the traffic is going to be routed in the event of any failure. So we will also see the load balancer in the future topics. So redundancy basically means the ability of the servers to pick up the load or to handle the traffic if any downtime occurs in one of the server or in couple of servers. So that is redundancy. So these topics are going to be common in every scenario, whether it is on premises, whether it is on cloud. So these three topics are going to be common, and they all will be the part of high availability, which is very critical topic. Now, when we say on-premises, so on-premises have different concept to set up the high availability. They have something called active and passive cluster. So there we have to set up the active and passive cluster environment. There will be one master node. There will be heartbeat that we have to set up. So that is there in the on-premises. But when I talk about the Azure cloud, so in Azure cloud, there is a different method. In Azure cloud, we have some options to maintain the high availability of servers. So if I talk about the servers, or let's say VM in Azure, so we have multiple methods here. The first method of high availability in Azure is AS, and you can name it availability sets. Second option here is AJ or AZ, which is availability zones. Third option here is VMSS, which is virtual machine scale sets. And another option is ASR, Azure Site Recovery. So these are the options which is there in Azure for maintaining the high availability of your virtual machines. So these are the options for the VM. In the future topic, we will be discussing about the storage accounts in Azure. So regarding the storage accounts also, there are some high availability options that we will see and discuss, which is LRS, then there will be GRS, then GRS, RAGRS, etc. And regarding the connectivity, regarding the gateway also, we will discuss some high availability option like active active. This will be the part of communication, and passive passive or active passive. So we have different options for different tasks. And because servers are very critical in the business, so we have these four availability options, these four high availability options in Azure. And we will discuss and see the practical of each and every options one by one. So this is how we are going to progress. So this was about the conceptual part of high availability. Now from the next session onwards, I am going to focus on the Azure high availability topics, which is AS, AJ, and VMSS ASR. So that's it for now. I hope you understood the topics very clearly. In case no, you can drop me the message. So thank you very much for your time. See you in the next session. Bye.